It has been raining for almost 48 hours straight. Has had very little reprieve in the middle of all that. It is supposed to rain more later, but for right now, it's nice outside, it's sunny, and it's not raining. So we're gonna work on the garden some. This is the maybe not so pretty part of working on the garden. If you want lovely flowers and a great crop, you have to do the work in beforehand. And so that's what we're doing, is working on getting the garden prepped. I am working on hilling up the rows for all of my different crops. I will link down below the video of my garden plan. I know that's kind of a winter thing to watch, but it might be interesting to you where everything's going to go. I've changed a little bit, but not too much. For the most part, it's all the same. And I mentioned in my last video that I had gotten 4 yards of compost because I'm really working on my garden's soil health. And so that's what I'm doing here, is hilling the rows and then putting the compost, spreading it on the top. All of the rows are 3 feet across, and there's 18 inches in between each one. And I'm trying to go to a no-till method of gardening. And basically that means that this is kind of the permanent setup. Obviously the crops are going to rotate and be in different spots every year, but the amount of rows and the sizes of them are pretty much going to stay the same every year and have compost added to the top of them. So I think that's really going to enrich my soil. It's going to give me a lot better yield when the end of the harvest season comes. Now, switching gears a little bit to a different day when it wasn't raining, we went to Tractor Supply and got some cattle panels. They are 16 feet long by 50 inches, and we are putting them in between each of these garden beds. There are 5 garden beds, and so we're doing 4 trellises. And you're going to see my husband and I working on the last one. Basically, he's securing it with some wood. And I would maybe suggest adding a T-post to the sides of it and then kind of zip tying it to it just to keep it upright, depending on what kind of crops you're going to have grow up. If you're going to have some type of perennial, you would definitely need that in order to keep it steady and firm. I'm doing very light things. This trellis in particular has sweet peas that's going to be growing on it. I have regular peas, I have cucumbers, and then I have mini pumpkins. So the only one that may cause some issue is the mini pumpkins one. And if it does, I'll just add some T-posts so it doesn't go flopping on either side. This is a pretty functional way of making these trellises, and it's a fairly inexpensive way of doing it as well. And I really think, especially right here where these sweet peas are going to be, it is just going to look absolutely gorgeous. I love the view from my back deck looking at these. Thank you. I am getting absolutely eaten alive. I'm getting eaten alive. It's gross. Here I am getting all these starts that you've watched me pot up for the roadside stand out. I'm really just organizing. There's a few seeds that have started developing in some of these pots, so kind of picking at them a little bit and making the tag a little bit clearer what variety it is and so forth, and getting it all ready. People are still quite not ready to plant their gardens yet here, but they like to come and look and browse and even have their plants at home, so then when they do feel like doing it or when it's time, they're ready to put them in the ground. I have tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and I have some flowers inside the stand as well. Hey, so this video has been kind of a mishmash of all kinds of things going here in the garden, from working on the rows to planting to getting things ready. And I wanted to finish up with showing you a tour of all of the seedlings I have in the greenhouse that still have yet to be planted out. There is nothing under the grow lights in the basement other than I have a pan of dahlias down there with some soil that I'm trying to get woken up and started to try to see which ones are viable and which ones aren't. And it's not looking too good, so I'm not going to show you those. But these have all been hardened off and been living out here for quite a while, most of them for about a month or so. And so I'm not going to start putting any of those things in the ground yet, especially the warm things like tomatoes, for example. Tomatoes, they love warm weather, but it's not just about the warm weather. It's also about the soil temperature. I think we are probably past our last frost date. We could always still get a frost. Last year we got a frost at the very end of May. It was really hard for a lot of people. There was quite a few crops that were destroyed because it wasn't really expected. But it's not just about the temperature. We have to wait until that soil temperature has gone up, because like tomatoes specifically, if you put them in the ground when the soil is too cold, it will actually stunt their growth for a while, and they'll keep going later, but you're gonna lose some growth. So they're in here, they're nice and warm, they're protected, and I'm gonna keep them in there for now. I am gonna start slowly planting things. I'll put in like some green bean seeds will be fine, and like some cosmos seeds and things like that. So I'll take you along as I start planting those, and I will show you a full garden tour, a vegetable and flower garden tour, once that's all planted, so you can see where everything is. And I'd like to soon show you a full perennial garden tour as well. I need to get a little weeding done, so I'll try to get that done so I can show you that. But today is going to be in the greenhouse, and let's see what I have left. There is not a whole lot of organization in here anymore because so many of these things are being moved around and shoved around. But here is a pile of zinnias. These are the, let's see, Oklahoma series and the Queenie series. So they're putting on some really good growth, getting to their third, fourth set of leaves. I have these cucumbers. I'll show you in a second. I'll take you out to the stand. I have a lot of cucumbers out there for sale, and these are cabbages. I sowed a lot of cabbages. I don't know what I'm going to do with all those cabbages, but that's okay. Here are some zinnia seeds that I'm going to sell on the stand. I'm not going to put them out yet. I'll put them out later, probably next week. I have loofah seeds as well. And then what are these? Oh, these are watermelons that I'm going to be planting in here. Parsley. I learned that if you soak parsley overnight and then plant them, they germinate a lot better. So there you go. Here are yellow squash seeds. They're looking gorgeous. Again, gonna put them out next week. I have some cucumbers. Those are the ones I'm saving for myself, so I want to make sure to not mess those up. These dill is looking amazing. I am super happy with this dill. I'm keeping all of these herbs for myself. I've got rosemary, oregano, parsley that's still growing, thyme. They look beautiful. Here's some petunias. Many of them I'm using for myself. I was hoping to be able to put some at the stand. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because I don't want to put them out if they're not blooming yet, but I'm pretty sure that these are bloom flowers right here. And so we should be getting some blooms pretty soon. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that within the next maybe 5 days or so, they'll really poke out with some color. Basil has grown up, not great germination, but it has grown up quite a bit. I'm much happier with it. This is all the zinnias that I have seeded for what I'm going to put in my garden bed area. And I had to reseed, which is why some of them are smaller. And then here is all of my binary zinnias that are going to go in. Marigolds are doing awesome too. They are getting a little big for these trays though, so they're ready to get out. And celosia, the Pompous Plume celosia, is also looking really great and fantastic. I have tomatoes over here, some of them for the stand and some of them for myself. If they're in a cup like this, they're a tomato that's for me. But if they're in a cup that's like, this isn't a tomato, this is a pepper, but if they're in a cup like this, that means it's for the stand. And so I'm just kind of going through those and adding to the stand. Geraniums are starting to put out stalks for blooms, which is awesome. Here's some more peppers. I already have a ton at the stand. More tomatoes right here, more peppers, more tomatoes, more tomatoes, more tomatoes. And here's all of my geraniums. They're really looking gorgeous, and I'm really glad that they're just about to bloom, because that will be perfect to put out. And I'm going to put a ton in my pots as well. I have a mix of zucchini and yellow squash here. Some of them don't look that fantastic, but that's okay. I may discount them. Here are some more zinnias. Let's see what I've got here. This is, I don't know. Oh, here it is. This is the Cinderella lilac. So that is, what is that? Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, the Cinderella lilac, and then the Cinderella peach, and then what do I have right here? I don't know why this tag's all the way over there. Oh dear, probably gonna get a little confused with some stuff. And ballerina. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Those are misplaced, but that's all right. That's what I've got in there. It doesn't really matter. So these ended up, remember I had a mix of coleus and alyssum seeds together, and ended up I get some of both. I got some coleus in there and I got some alyssum, and I'll use them for different projects. Lupins, daisies, hollyhocks, all growing really beautifully. More peppers, guys. Lots and lots of peppers. A few more herbs, some cilantro growing right here. I've got statice that needs to be planted, and I've got yarrow. I'm not going to be putting that in the field. I'm going to be putting that in my garden bed areas. More peppers. And then these are pumpkins. Some of these pumpkins are going to be growing up on a trellis. Some of them are going to be growing on the ground. Some of them are going to be growing in here. And look at these snaps that we planted a while back. Ah, they are looking amazing. Like, their stems are really thick and strong. And then obviously this one is starting to form a seed head. It's starting to form a bloom head, which is awesome. So these are going to be amazing. So excited about those. All right, so let's walk out to the stand and I will show you what I have out there. I've set up a table. I have a short on here on YouTube, and it's a reel on Instagram too of me just getting ready for setting this table up and get some of these things out. And so that's where some of my seeds, some of my starts have gone. So here's the stand, looking all good. While we're here, let me just show you what's in here. Whoops. Got some things that fell over. There we go. I'm offering some cookies today to try some espresso cookies. Here they are in half dozen. I've got English muffins. I've got Italian rustic loaf. So not too much going on today. And then I've got a few flowers. I've got some violas. Still looking pretty and worth getting. And then I've got some snaps as well. Here is the stand. Cucumbers, broccoli and cauliflower, which is looking a lot better than they were. All kinds of tomatoes that I've really pricked and preened and made look very nice. And then we've got some peppers as well. This is a variety of red and yellow peppers, and these are all jalapenos right here. Everybody loves the jalapenos, so. Thank you for coming along in this video today, seeing some different things that, you know, it's just part of gardening. It's getting things done and getting things prepared before the real fruit can come. There's a lot of things to prep and a lot of things to do to get a good harvest. The harvest is the beautiful part, but the harvesting is really not where all the work is. Before is where all the work is. And so thanks for coming along to watch some of that and what's been going on here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Pop any questions that you may have down below and I will definitely answer them for you. But until next time, keep growing.